Hey everybody, Dave here. Thanks so much for joining me for another video. Hey, you know, it's cold out here, it's January, but you know that's winter. And the thing of it is, just because our outdoor pursuits have slowed down a little bit, doesn't mean that we can't enjoy the outdoors inside. Who doesn't like a roaring fire? And you know, the fact that we have a wood stove, we're able to bring in the wood from outdoors and heat our house with it, and also create a special heat that I don't think any other type of heating system can put off. The only problem with that is the chore that's involved in bringing the wood from outside inside. And you know, years past I used to use a leather tote, and I'd put 4 or 5 logs in there and I'd drag it in, you know, and make another trip, and sometimes I have to make 4 or 5 trips to get enough wood for one day. But being I've had cancer recently in the past, and the fact that my physical capacity has been diminished because of that, I had to come up with a different solution. And so what I've come up with was this design for a log cart. And I built this myself because I wanted to be able to bring the logs in and do it in a much easier way. And so today I'm going to share with you exactly how I built this cart, the dimensions, my design, and how it works, and how I did it all for about 20 bucks. Okay, let me start off by giving you the dimensions of the cart so that you can have those and get an idea about the size of it. All right, starting back here, this upper rail here is 41 inches high from the top of this to the top of the angle iron right here. This is 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches angle iron, both here and in the front up there. The dimension for this in width and length is 14 inches, and this tubing is 3/4 inch with about an 1/8 inch wall thickness, so it's a little bit heavy wall thickness, but not too much. And so here's what I've done. From the top of this to the floor is 5 3/4 inches, and that makes the wheels level then when you put the axle in here and the front. So let me show what it looks like here on the side. From here all the way to the front, facing right here, is 22 inches for this piece. The braces here are 14 inches long. Okay, and I've put these braces in not only just for support when I'm lifting up on the back to pull the front up, but also for clearance for the wheels. So as the logs stack here, they don't hit the wheels, and it gives clearance there. The front piece here is 32 inches from the top all the way down to inside here on this angle iron. This angle iron faces up, and the angle iron in the back faces down. So let me show you what I've done for the axle. The axle is a piece of 5/8 inch round stock, and I've cut them about 10 inches long. There's 2 pieces here. And the reason I did that is so it would come in the angle iron and give me a lot of purchase area to do some welds, make it really strong. What I did was I stuck it out past this side here so that it would have clearance for a big washer here, a big washer on the inside right here, and then also a cotter pin. So I put the wheel in there, put a mark, gave myself a little bit extra, and cut them off. And then I drilled out and put the cotter pin in and flared it. And what's great is these wheels spin really nice and easy. There are bearings inside of them. They're 3 inches wide, they're 10 inches high, and so they really roll nice and easy, and they don't tend to sink in at all like some of the solid wheels might. So now that we've got it all measured up, and let me just say one thing. You know, I used tubing on this build because it's what I had. And as far as the cost goes on this, the wheels here were $3.99 at Harbor Freight. So let's say $8 for the wheels. The whole weight of this cart is about 15 pounds. So even if we said 20 pounds, I get my steel at a scrap yard, and so I pay 45 cents a pound for the steel. This is actually steel I had laying around, so it didn't cost me anything. But if you were to buy it at a scrap yard, it'd be about 45 cents a pound for regular steel. And so if you took 20 pounds of steel at 45 cents a pound, you know, you're roughly looking at $9. So if the wheels were $8 and you had $9, you're, you know, and then a can of spray paint, you're right around 20 bucks. So the other thing is, I had an opportunity to build mine out of tubing because I had a tube bender. But if you don't have a tube bender, that's okay. You can build this same cart out of 1/4 inch by 1.5 inch flat bar. And what you would do is just bend these bends on the flat. And you could do that in a vise just by measuring, putting a mark, put it in the vise, and then just flatten it over with a sledgehammer. So you could bend them there as well. Do the same thing. And if you don't have a welder like I have, then you could take it to a welder after you have all the pieces cut and fit, and he could probably put this together for you and weld it up in about a half hour. It's pretty easy. So anyway, with that, let me show you a little bit how I load it up and how it works. So the first thing I do when I bring my cart in is I want it to face the way that I'm going to go out with. You don't want to try and turn this around with a full load of wood on it. This way I can wheel it directly out. So I line it up how I want it, and then I can just start stacking the wood on here. This dimension is perfect for the size wood that we use in our stove. And if you have some short pieces, just put the longer pieces on the outside and put them in the middle. When I load this cart up, can easily handle 200 pounds. And the great thing about it is it makes it almost effortless to bring it up to the door. I'll give it a good load on here so I can show you just how well it works. Now you don't have to load yours this high, but what I wanted to do was show you just how easily this cart rolls, even with all this amount of wood on here. All I have to do is put my foot in the back to hold on to that angle iron, and then just give it a little tilt back so it's equally balanced, and then it's just a matter of rolling it forward. A little slippery on the ramp, so I'm just taking my time. And what's nice, if you have to, the weight holds everything down, you can let go of it, just like that. As you can see, even though I put sand down on the ramp, it's pretty slippery, and I still was able to make it up fairly easily. So there it is, all up by the door, one trip, and now I can come out here, grab a couple of logs as needed, take them inside the fireplace, and enjoy the heat. Hey everybody. Thanks so much for joining us today, for taking time out of your busy schedule to hang out with us. And we really appreciate you taking the time to watch our videos. And we hope you got a lot out of it today. We hope you got some ideas for maybe building your own log cart. And you had the opportunity to see how advantageous it is maybe to have one. You know, I realize not everybody has the skill set to maybe build one like that. And so I just want to let you know that there are options available online where you can buy similar ones. I don't think they're quite as strong, and they will cost you a little bit more money. But a log cart like that, for certain circumstances, especially like mine, really helps. You know, it's because of my cancer and all that went along with that, that I lost a great deal of my strength and my stamina. And so it came to my mind that I really needed to have a log cart like that in order to be able to bring in the wood we needed to heat our house. You know, it's not too unlike us in our need for God. You know, sometimes we come to a point in our life where we feel like, you know, we don't know how we're going to go on, or all the struggles that we face, we don't know how we're going to accomplish them. But I want you to know something. God didn't just create us, you and me, to abandon us and leave us alone. He wanted to be, in essence, the source of our strength, the source that carries us through to the next opportunity and the next part of our journey. And so I want to just leave you with this scripture verse. It's in Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10, and it says this: "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." You know, that log cart reminds me just how much God sustains us and how much He cares about us. You know, when I was first diagnosed with esophageal cancer, the doctors gave me 36 months to live. And I decided at that point I was going to do everything in my power to get well. But you know what? It was a really long haul. I had 14 months of chemo, 9 or 12 surgeries, somewhere in there. I had some really horrific things go on in that journey. And you know, I really look back on that, and it was God who sustained me. At one point, you know, it became so difficult for me because my bowels ruptured, and actually feces and stuff came up and engulfed my lungs, and my body was septic. And you know, I still didn't die. God still had His hand on me. And you know what? Sometimes things may look impossible. Sometimes things may look bleak, just like it did through my cancer and through that journey that God took me through. But you know what? He showed me His goodness, and He showed me His power. And He showed me how wonderful it can be to be in a relationship with Him, no matter how horrible life may seem at the time. And I'm here to encourage you today that if you don't have a relationship with Jesus, if you don't know God personally, that you can take the time right now to begin to know Him. And if you're not sure how to do that, I'd encourage you to check out any one of my books in the description below. There's one all about my cancer journey and how God's power overwhelmed my whole life and showed me His love and His grace and His mercy. And there's another book I have called Growing Deep as well, that will walk you through a little bit about my life and the scriptures and show you how you personally can have a relationship with God and have His love and His power in your life as well. So guys, check out the books. They're free of charge. It's my gift to you for being a part of our YouTube family. And so thanks so much for hanging out with us today, for joining us. And I'd really encourage you, if you're at a point in your life where you can't seem to do it on your own anymore, don't be afraid to reach out to God, because He's reaching back to you. And remember, always, that God loves you more than you can know. So until the next video, thanks again for watching, and don't forget to get outdoors.